One of the things that AI has done is that suddenly has raised the bar for the difficulty of the problems that can be solved. One can now be much more ambitious on kind of the problems that can be solved. It's fine to generate the very polished answer, maybe inspired by AI, and develop the ideas.
Welcome back to Creative Dialogues, the podcast where ideas, disciplines, and perspectives meet to explore how AI is reshaping how we teach, learn, and create at Krea University. I'm Pranvi Khare, a third-year literature major, and I'll at the School of Interwoven Arts and Sciences, and I'll be the host for today. The episode when AI meets chemistry. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Kalyan S. Chakrabarti, Associate Professor of Biological Sciences and Chemistry, and the Dean of Student Affairs here at Krea. Professor's work involves the understanding of dynamic proteins and protein networks. Professor, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the big picture. How has AI changed the way you teach, learn, or do research in your field?
The research has changed very significantly because, in 2004-5, when I was doing PhD, solving one protein structure it took my entire PhD.
Yeah.
Right, so that was expensive, it was time consuming.
Right.
Now, around 2019, 2020, when the AI revolution happened, and especially Google's DeepMind came in with database of almost all protein structures solved. So now what took time of 4 to 5 years for someone trained to solve the structure of a protein now is just found in the database. And of course, that was recognized by the Nobel Prize in 24, in which I think in chemistry Nobel Prize it was the DeepMind team for solving protein structure, and the physics Nobel Prize was for design of the AI algorithm. So yeah, I mean, research has changed fundamentally, and we are all kind of grappling with ways to now reflect it in our curriculum, in our how we teach, right? Exactly, as you said. So the research has changed. The research methods have changed because one of the things that AI has done is that suddenly has raised the bar for the difficulty of the problems that can be solved.
Okay.
In a way, it has kind of democratized coding, right? So programs, now students can whip up a program or analysis tool relatively quickly,
Right.
right? So now the problem sets can be that much difficult. So that's on the positive side of it. Of course, there are the other challenges as to how to now ask questions that require text to explain something, because AI is extremely proficient in generating those also.
Right. That's kind of what my next question is. As someone who studies literature, I'm interested in seeing how AI has changed the way students approach experiments and critical analysis in the lab.
Laboratory, now, so this is one thing. So for example, laboratory is a combination where the initial part is hands-on, of course. I mean, one has to make a sample, put it in the, let's say, spectrometer, measure the data. Now, that part, AI doesn't come in.
Okay.
So if that part can be done well, then the analysis, in principle, where AI can come in as a helping tool, but still one can design the assessment component or the student learning outcome around it, assuming that they have done the sort of the more physical part of it, where one has to physically prepare the sample and do the experiment and etc. The challenge is that now one can, in principle, now skip the entire actually doing the experiment part, but have a very sophisticated analysis just coming from AI. So this is something that it's an evolution. We are also learning that what are the things to do. And in fact, for some of the things, we had to go back to the old methods of pen and paper, because I mean, so far that seems to be the only way. But I guess it's kind of an arms race, right? I mean, we have to learn how to do it better and smarter.
So, do you think that AI can replace any part of the actual chemical experimentation?
Not in near future, not in the
Okay.
current avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that will require kind of the sophistication in robotics, because
Yeah.
there will be always some moving parts needed.
Yeah.
So, what AI is extremely good at is generating the documentation of it.
Okay.
But the physical part of doing something, that is still expensive, I think, and that is still difficult.
Okay.
So not in near future, but beyond that, it's hard to predict.
How do you encourage students to responsibly use AI?
Right. So there are definitely, so like I said, one of the things that we are doing now in our, let's say, classroom assignments or so,
Mm-hmm.
is that one can now be much more ambitious on kind of the problems that can be solved.
Right.
Very often in large part of science curriculum was that a conceptual point was made with like a pen and paper calculation, or a graph, showing a graph, etc.
Okay.
Now students can approach much more accurate, or students can produce much more accurate results, they can do much more accurate calculations,
Mm-hmm.
because it has democratized the coding. So the
Right.
coding is not a bottleneck anymore, because
Right.
AI can do that part very well.
Okay.
That gives tremendous learning, I think, because now suddenly being able to finish very complicated calculation gives the students certain perspective that was not possible before, not in a limited amount of time.
Right.
So I think that is a kind of a very interesting feature of AI. The other thing that we are experimenting with, about what you said about responsible use of
Right.
AI, is that if the AI is used as a tool to generate ideas and have a comprehensive research on a
Mm-hmm.
topic, I think that should be encouraged, and that is probably
Okay.
inevitable.
Right.
Then I suppose the crux is to have a assessment component, or the evaluation of the learning outcome, which can be like a chalk and board presentation.
Oh.
So that is, it's fine to generate the very polished answer,
Right.
maybe inspired by AI,
Right.
and
Right.
develop the ideas, but also internalize it enough to be able to present in a chalk and
Present it.
board. So that is where the learning comes in. And if that learning is better than before, and more nuanced than before, more complete than before, okay, that should be, I would count that as a
Right.
plus.
Professor Kalyan, thank you so much for this eye-opening conversation when AI meets chemistry. For everyone listening, if you enjoyed today's discussion, stay tuned for more cross-disciplinary creative dialogues.
Thanks, Pranavi. Thanks for having me.